For some reason, and it may just be that the world has become more hectic, more frenetic, it has really, I wouldn't say fallen out of favor, but fallen into obscurity, the Kasiṇa meditations. So the Kasiṇa meditation is one particular type of meditation mentioned in the Tripitaka, and there are 10 Kasiṇa objects. So 4 of them are colors, 4 are the 4 chief elements of earth, water, fire, and air, and then you have space, and then in the original Tripitaka you have consciousness, which was then later replaced by light. For some reason, I'm not sure why. As most people know, there are many different forms of meditation, and the most common one being anapanasati, the mindfulness of in and out breathing. That is the far and above the most common form of meditation taught in Buddhist retreats or by Buddhist teachers. But there are many, many mentioned. At least 40, if not more. The word meditate, it's probably Latin roots, has more to do again with thinking, and a lot of Buddhist teachers will say stop thinking. So even that's a seeming contradiction, but it doesn't need to be. So the Kasiṇa meditation is one of the traditional forms of meditation, and one way of separating Buddhist meditation is either more of what's called a Samatha, or a tranquility-based orientation, and Vipassana, which is more the insight, the analytic insight, the ability to let's take this and look at it from different angles. Whereas Samatha, or which is in many contexts can be seen as a synonym for samadhi or concentration, is one-pointed attention. So if you're focusing on the breath, just focus on the breath. If a thought arises, if you hear a sound, bring attention back to the breath. The breath is your focus. Now the Vipassana is one of, you could say, closer to what's called a sort of a choiceless awareness, that is one of emphasizing mindfulness more. And so the Kasiṇa meditations are more in the former of the Samatha, the tranquility of really focusing. And in the scriptures, it says these are really difficult. It's the proclivity of a person. Some people will gravitate towards more a Samatha style. Some people will gravitate more to a Vipassana style. So these Kasiṇa, say, a friend of mine recently created these discs, these colored discs that people could then get from his house. So whether it was blue or red, blue is sometimes green. It's hard to know exactly what the Pali is. Then you have blue, red, yellow, and white. And again, it depends just on which color sort of makes the mind at ease. That's already a good way to start. Similar to Anapanasati, you'll find different teachers will emphasize different methods for engaging with the meditation objects. So with the Kasiṇa meditations, I have used a candle flame. When I was taught the fire Kasiṇa, I did try that for a while. I would meditate with a candle flame somewhere where there wasn't a breeze, so it stayed quite still. And I would recite Tejo Kasiṇa. So Tejo is fire. So fire Kasiṇa, and would then synchronize that mantra with my breathing. So I would imagine that with the other Kasiṇas, one would do the same. Just adopt whatever mantra. It doesn't have to be in Pali. There's nothing sacred about the Pali language. I used to do another meditation where I used the 4 elements around my solar plexus, but I use then the Thai words. So it's not a matter of language. What's more important is that there is this repetition and this, I wouldn't call it hypnosis because one's still very much aware, but it has that sense of you don't have, it's not forceful, you don't have to think a lot, you don't have to control a lot, it comes more or less naturally to accompany the activity, the meditation exercise. But in one of the scriptures it says, look, only 1 in 100 or 1,000 of people who start are going to be able to continue. And of those, only 1 of 100 or 1,000 will be able to create what's called a ugaha nimitta, which is where you can close your eyes and then your mind is able to generate that image with your eyes closed. So it basically says it's a really difficult form of meditation. But having said that, it's very much a part of this tradition, and I think it would be a shame if it disappeared. And so I feel very uplifted when I hear, inspired when I hear people giving it a go.